It was his passion. It was his passion. He absolutely loved to, for a lack of better words, Frankenstein things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a magnet charge. It's like a portable magnet charge. I've never seen a portable one before.
This is the one we are most excited about.
Yes.
Because it's the rarest, maybe? Well, this is definitely the rarest.
He was so ecstatic. He loved it. This was something he was extremely proud of because he definitely had a sweet spot for pickups. He loved mini pickups. My husband was the type of man, I always said he was born with a green light only.
Okay.
He had no caution light.
Love it.
It was just
full
green.
send.
Yeah, it was just go.
Yeah.
And so that was how it started.
Thank you to our sponsors for today's video, Ionna, InfyPower, Eaton, and EVCS. Ionna, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Ionna is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave. Also, InfyPower, the largest EV charger module provider with over 3 million power modules running reliably worldwide. Their latest G2 collection features ultra-high power density and efficiency for EV charging and energy storage integration. InfyPower, innovation for your power. And Eaton. Eaton is a one-stop shop for implementing reliable and innovative EV charging infrastructure at your site. Across all applications, Eaton's EV charging infrastructure, hardware, and software gives you the scalability, flexibility, and intelligence you need to charge today and scale up tomorrow. Learn more at eaton.com/EVCI. And EVCS 2025, the premier EV charging expo. From utilities to policymakers and tech innovators, the key players in shaping EV infrastructure are coming together at EVCS in Las Vegas on March 25th through 27th. We would love to see you there.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You joined me in Dixon, Tennessee. Yes, I flew into Nashville last night, rented this Tesla Model 3 because I came all the way out here for an extremely exciting reason, which I'm going to tell you about in this video. I think, if everything is true and goes to plan, have come across one of the most insane electric car barn finds, collections. I'm not even sure how to describe it because I'm not sure what we're getting ourselves into today. But you join me in Tennessee and we're going to go explore what the heck is going on with this insane group of cars. Well, this is the Model 3 that we had rented from Hertz. We got the last one, Alex.
Indeed, yeah. Not very much stuff that they had left in inventory for EVs as far as rentals went.
Right, we originally rented a 2500 Cummins because we were like, hey, we'll take a diesel truck, sounds fun. But in the end, we ended up with this. So why are we at the Fairfield Inn and Suites, or is it just the Fairfield Inn?
Or
Fairfield. It's not even an inn, it's just Fairfield.
Just Fairfield.
Why are we at the Fairfield in Dixon, Tennessee?
Yeah, so we're going to be heading to look at quite a collection of different EVs, mostly kind of what we would call CARB era stuff. So they're the first wave of EVs from when California first implemented a zero-emission vehicle mandate in the late 1990s.
Yeah, so, okay, well, we're going to get into that, but people are going to see like S10 electrics, Ranger electrics. There's an Epic van, which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And well, we'll explain to everyone the big kicker here, but it's going to be our collection.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Alex runs our Out of Spec Renew YouTube channel, which is all focused on preserving, restoring, repowering cars that are electric or combustion ones to make them electric. And these, like, we've come across the jackpot, dude.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting collection for sure.
So before we get into any of that, we kind of have a problem. So we came here last night and we had EVSEs.
Yeah, we've got EVSEs here on site, but the rental car didn't actually come with an adapter.
So that is one of the real problems of renting a car from Hertz. Sometimes you get the J1772 adapter, sometimes you don't. And typically when I know that I'm booking a Tesla, I'll bring my CCS and J1772 adapter, and knowing that you have to do that, but I usually do.
Yeah,
since we rented a Cummins diesel, I didn't think to bring anything. and they just happen to have one last Tesla for us. Anyway, so we probably have to charge in order to get to Bonnie's house. Bonnie's the one with the collection.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was Bonnie's husband. He passed away a couple of years ago. A huge EV enthusiast.
Yep.
We'll tell everyone more about that in the car. But let's put in the name of the town. I can't even remember what it is. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
It's like something. Henderson. Let's take a look. Huntingdon.
Huntingdon, that's right.
So here's our nice, trusty Model 3. It's always nice to rent these, by the way. I updated the software last night. Now it's asking for another download, but I'm guessing it's a map update. Game update. Okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So we're at 64% state of charge. So to get to Huntingdon, not Huntington, Huntingdon, Tennessee, is 60 miles or so west of here. We can make it there just fine, but can we make it there and back to here? So what we should do is we need to edit, arrange this way, and then it will tell us we can charge on the way back.
Yeah.
And so that probably works pretty well. That's nice that there's a charger at least there. Oh, and it's a version 3 plus station.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that's the only station between here and where we have to go. So that's actually perfect to have a local supercharger. So I'm no longer worried about it. We're not going to waste juice preconditioning. I'm guessing Bonnie has charging for us, though.
Yeah, so I think that she has a Tesla, so we might be able to plug in there as well.
Yeah, she says she drives a P90D.
Really?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Sweet.
Bonnie's ripping. So let's go to Huntingdon. First stop Starbucks, and then we'll tell everyone more about this collection. Well, Alex, we are on the road, on the move to Huntingdon. And this rental Model 3 is loud, dude.
It's loud and it's got a bit of a vibration.
Yeah, this thing's got 80,000 miles of rental car usage on it, which is pretty hilarious. So let's talk about what the heck is happening. We got in touch, well, I should say you got in touch with a buddy of yours who said he knew about a free Ford Ranger.
Yeah, so we were chatting back and forth. He was looking for some parts for a car that he has, and I mentioned kind of in passing that I thought it'd be cool to pick up another Ford Ranger EV, which I used to have 2 of them that I never did end up getting running, but...
And what were those? Because I think a lot of our audience probably doesn't even know there was a Ranger electric.
Yeah, so they're part of that kind of first wave of electric vehicles that were part of the original CARB zero emission vehicle mandate in California.
So was that late 90s, early 2000s?
Yep, exactly. So basically the 7 largest automakers all kind of had to have some sort of option available. Most of them were leased, the vast majority. The most famous of the cars from that era would have been the GM EV1. That's what most people would think of. But there's a number of other vehicles from that time period as well.
Right. I think a lot of our audience, and me included, probably up until recently, believed the EV1 to be kind of like the first modern electric car. But there was this wave of electric cars. And so what was in that wave? There was the Gen 1 RAV4 EV, which we recently posted a video of my Gen 1 RAV4 EV on this channel.
Yep, exactly.
There was the S10 electric, which is a pickup truck from Chevy.
Yep, and it actually uses a very, very similar powertrain to the EV1. Slightly less powerful motor, but I think pretty much all the inverter power electronic stuff is more or less the same.
And then Ranger, then there was a Dodge Epic van, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Yep, there's the Dodge Epic.
What other cars were part of that era?
There was the Nissan Ultra EV.
But only like a few of those, right?
Yeah, a very small number, but it was the first, quote-unquote serial production electric vehicle that used lithium-ion batteries.
Oh, really? So it wasn't nickel metal hydride like a lot of these early cars were?
Yep, yeah, so the Nissan Ultra was lithium-ion. And then, let's see, what else was there? Honda had a small car called the EV Plus. I think there's probably only maybe 2 of those left known to exist that are both in Honda's possession. I think they have one at like some experience center or something that they have in California.
Yeah, probably their headquarters. They have like a museum where they keep everything.
Yeah, so I think they have one there, and I think there's one in Japan as well.
It would be worth going to make a video with it.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, my friend runs Honda's collection, so we get access to that. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Shout out Carl. Yeah, Carl, hook us up. Okay, so this collection, so that's kind of like the era that this guy, whoever Bonnie's husband was, we're going to learn more about him today. He loved these things.
Yeah, he had quite a collection of them. He had a couple of other things that were a little bit newer as well. And then he also had basically like a step van that's from a company called Selectria. They actually built sort of conversions based on gliders from, they did a lot of Geo Metros that were electric, that they call the Selectria Force.
So in Bonnie's husband's collection, there are 2 motorcycles.
Yep.
One of them's a 0.
They're both zeros.
They're both zeros.
Yeah.
One must be a really early 0 then.
They're both pretty early zeros.
Okay.
I don't know exactly the year, but I'm guessing like probably 2011, 2012 era, something like that.
Wow. Okay, so we've got 2 motorcycles and 12 cars?
I think there's 11 cars.
11 cars.
Yeah, I think that's the total.
And Bonnie was so cool, she said we could just have the whole collection.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's the big news, is this is not just going to see a collection. If we want it, it's ours.
Exactly.
So today we flew in to do like an exploratory search.
It's a recon mission.
Yeah, because we have to figure out how to get all these things to Colorado and to Portland to your shop and to figure out how that's all going to work. I have no idea. We might be needing some transportation help from the electric pickup truck owners who watch this.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit overwhelming to think we would have such a huge collection of rare vehicles. So there's 4 first-generation RAV4 EVs.
Yep.
I already have 2 of them.
Exactly, yep.
And then there's 2 more in North Carolina we're getting. So if anyone wants a RAV4 EV who's going to like restore it and not just junk it, let us know.
Yeah, there's plenty to go around.
Yeah, we're giving them away like Oprah at the moment. And then, so we've got 4 RAV4 EVs. We've got those Connect van things.
Yep, they're the Azure Dynamics Ford Transit Connect.
Then we've got the big box van that I don't know what the heck we're going to do with that.
Yeah,
but
that one seems a little bit interesting. I've heard that it might have 2 motor, like a dual motor system where they're connected together with like a cogged belt. I've never even seen one before. I didn't know Selectria made a step van. So.
Right, that's going to be wild. The one I'm most excited about, the 3 would be the Ranger Electric, which I think we definitely have to get back up and running if we can.
That one would be cool.
The S10 Electric, there's 3 of those.
I think there's I've only seen pictures of 2, so I'm not sure if there's 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. I thought there were 3, but okay, 2 or 3 S10s. And then
the Dodge Epic.
The Dodge Epic. That's going to be cool. So it's not just me and Alex. Our buddy Robert Dunn from the Aging Wheels YouTube channel is on his way over, because this is like the most Robert thing to ever happen.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so and then of course Declan, who you've seen on our Renew channel that Alex runs, he's going to get a couple RAV4s or a RAV4 or really whatever. So we're going to try and distribute them out between our friends, but the goal is let's just assess the situation, see if anything is salvageable.
Yeah.
And whatever we can save, let's save.
Indeed.
That's the plan. So we've got one hell of a trip ahead of us with some super rare 90s era electric cars. Stuff I didn't even know existed. I can't wait. Having an absolute easy time on autopilot. That's the best reason to rent a Tesla, by the way. And we are off to Huntingdon. All right, we've got a pretty good plan here. We've made it. Bonnie's got the dogs over here, and Robert's going to pull his truck out the way. We're going to go put this on the charger, and then we can go take a look at all the really cool stuff over there. Holy smokes. Wow, this is one hell of a nice property, dude. This is amazing. All right, let's go, because the Tesla's mad at us. Plan your next charge. We'll run up over here.
Just go all the way to the top.
All right, sounds good. We'll see y'all up there.
All right.
Have fun walking the dogs. All right, we've got 15% state of charge. Let's take a look at our wall connector situation. So we've got our handle. There we go. We'll check to see how many amps it is in a second. See what she's got going over here. Gen 2 wall connector. Not the old metal one. We've got NEMA 1450s as well.
Yeah.
And dang, this is nice. 21s on this thing. AP1, but nose cone. So it's an early 16.
No, this is a non-nose cone. It's the
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. It's the facelift one
Facelift.
with AP1. And I popped that open when I hit the button. Dude, it's a P100D ludicrous AP1.
Oh, yeah. So
Super.
P100D. Wow.
Super early. Dude, this is nice. All right, when Bonnie's done with this one, I had a Model S P100D ludicrous that was an early 17 that had AP2, but this generation Model S is so nice.
Yeah.
And especially with AP1. You're an AP1 owner.
Yep, I've got AP1 on my 70D.
That's the jam, dude. So we've got so much to explore around here. This thing, I think, is electric too.
Yeah,
The recoil i5 4x4. Yeah, she's got it plugged in. 4-wheel drive, side by side. Look at all the switches. Oh man, we have stumbled across.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is so cool. All right, let's see how fast we're charging up the old rental. There's Bonnie and Robert down over that way coming up. We've got, it's only 32 amps. Oh, the onboard charger.
2 amp onboard charger. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we'll let it charge up as much as it goes. It says only 6 hours, 50 minutes to full. Imagine plugging Robert Silverado into this.
It would take like, what, 2 or 3 days?
Yeah,
probably?
2 days. That's amazing. All right, well, we'll go say hi to Bonnie, get her on camera, do all that stuff. But this is definitely going to be something really, really special. Well, guys, we're at this beautiful property. Hey, Bonnie, welcome to the channel.
Thank you guys.
So, okay, I don't even know how this all totally happened, but I know Alex got in contact with you somehow, and then we
Yes.
started talking. And you mentioned that your husband was super into electric cars, actually used to film them on YouTube as well.
Yes, he has a channel called EV Jedi.
Yeah, great. Well, we'll make sure that's linked below. We're going to bring back the EV Jedi channel.
Yeah.
And what was your husband's name? Tell us about him before anything.
His name was James, but he always was called Jim. And for people that really knew him, he was Papa. And he was originally from Riverside, California. And his mom had died of breast cancer. And he then moved to Tennessee, where his grandparents were, and his father. And he was hoping that he would be able to rekindle his father's relationship because they had a rocky relationship. His parents were divorced. And he moved here and he started his own business, which he did really, really good at. And then he got another business.
What were the businesses? What was he doing?
So the one still exists to this day. It's called the Tub Doctor. It's a tub and shower repair company.
Oh, cool.
And I, unfortunately, when he passed away, I couldn't handle the business, so I gave it to an employee. So
super
now
cool.
the employee is doing the business.
Wow.
And then the other business that my husband had was an answering service. So anytime you call your doctors after hours and you get an operator that tells you they're not in the office, it is where the doctors forward their phones.
Yep.
So that in case you have an emergency, you can still get a hold of your doctor.
Oh, wow.
And generally, those companies are located in the location. My husband was an incredibly smart man, and he figured out how he could get answering services from everywhere else in the United States and answer them here in Tennessee. And instead of just buying right out the company, he would do it on a percentage basis. So the people that loved their small business didn't lose their small business, and they still made an income.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So he wasn't there to like just destroy the industry.
No.
He built it up around him. That's
yes,
so cool.
Yes. And so he did that, and we did it for a really, really long time. And then we wanted to move to the country, and it would just make it really hard to have the answering service in another town and live here. So he ended up selling it, and he sold it in 3 days.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He listed it for sale, and it was gone in 3 days.
Amazing.
And then we bought this property, and he called it the Ponderosa. And then in between all of that, he got into electric cars.
Yeah. So how did that all start?
It's a really funny story. My husband wanted to put solar panels on the answering service building to help with electricity, because solar panels, everybody knows what a solar panel is, you know, been around forever. You know, you're a hippie if you have a solar panel, but now it's like you're silly if you don't have a solar panel. So we went to Home Depot to get a solar panel. They don't have solar panels, but we were learning. And the gentleman that was helping my husband said something about an electric car. And my husband was like, no way, there's no such thing as an electric car.
What year was this? How long ago was this?
This was probably 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. And then the guy goes, no, you gotta watch this documentary called Who Killed the Electric Car?
Yeah.
And my husband was like, no way, no way. And the guy's like, no, go home and watch it. So we found it. I don't remember if we had to find it on DVD back then, because I don't remember how good like YouTube is.
Yeah, exactly.
Was.
Sure. Yeah.
But we found it, and he watched it, and we were completely blown away. So we learned about what was the first one?
The EV one.
Yeah, the EV one.
Yeah.
And so we learned about that. And then my husband was the type of man, always said he was born with a green light only.
Okay.
He had no caution light.
Love it.
It was just
full
green.
send.
Yeah, it was just go.
Yeah.
And so that was how it started. And the first vehicle that he got was from Springfield, Missouri. And it was a little S10 pickup truck.
So that's how it all started.
And that's how it all started.
And just like the rest of us, it doesn't stop after that.
It did not stop. It did not stop. And then it was a handful of years later that we found out about the Roadster.
Okay.
And then we were going to have a Tesla. That was just the way it was going to be.
What was your first Tesla? This one here. So
Yes.
the P100D.
That is why it's called Pride and Joy.
Love it.
Yeah. So it was a while before we could get it, because one, they were really expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, if people think they're expensive now.
Yeah. Back then they were a lot more money. Yeah.
Go back because they were really expensive. So we couldn't get it until after he sold the answering service.
Got it.
And then once we sold the answering service, he had the money. And then we went to Frankfort, Tennessee, which is just outside of Nashville. And we looked at it, and he purchased it. And it was funny because originally we were going to get the 90D. And I was driving home from somewhere, and I heard on the radio that they were coming out with a 100. And so I called him, and I was like, I don't know what it is. It said something about 100. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I don't know what it means. He knew what it meant.
Yeah.
He called the Franklin dealership, and well, not dealership, but anyway, the Tesla place. And he was like, cancel the 90. I want the 100.
Yep.
And they were like, well, it's already kind of on the way. You're going to have to pay like a fee because of that. And he goes, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's like, I want the 100.
Big battery. Yeah.
So we had to wait like a couple of more weeks for the 100. And it landed that on his birthday, the car was delivered.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
yeah, so we rented a limo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a big deal. And we drove up there, and that's why it's called Pride and Joy.
So did you already have all the other electric cars
Yes.
at that point?
Yes.
So, I mean, maybe you can tell us a little bit, if you remember, how you got each and every one. But like, for example, this is electric.
Yes, it is. It is a bad boy that we got forever ago. This thing has been to Missouri. It has been everywhere and all around the city. Sadly, it currently isn't working.
Okay.
And I don't know why. It died about 2 months ago.
Huh. I feel like we know some people who know how to fix stuff like that.
I have kept it plugged in because I remember my husband said, don't let the batteries go dead.
Okay.
So I've kept it plugged in for that.
Yep.
It used to have a seat back here, but we would use it to run up the driveway and get packages.
The bad boy buggy.
And then right here, if we open this up, let's see, how does this open up? So, there you go. All right.
We're already digging in. I love it. This is great. We haven't even shown everyone all the other stuff yet.
So
this is amazing.
This is what it looks like in here.
Cruise control, lithium iron phosphate.
I know he replaced all the batteries. These are
It's an LFP golf cart.
yeah, these are just recently replaced. He probably replaced these about a year and a half ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, it's probably 2 years now. I can't even remember when we got this thing. I don't even know if there's a date.
That's the same batteries in the Spiras.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he customized everything. That was just his thing. This is, like I said, it was a passion. He loved it. I do know he was saying something about something with these
The controller.
that might be going out. I don't know.
So Robert, you were saying these are similar cells to what you've seen before?
Yeah. These are, I think, they're Calb cells. They look identical to what I have in the Spiras.
Okay, very cool. So this is going to require some diagnosis and some looking, but if it was running just only a few months ago, I feel like it shouldn't be hard to get it back up and running again.
It was running, and my daughter went to go check the mail.
Oh yeah, because it's dual motor.
Oh, it's
4x4.
Oh, that's awesome.
So my daughter ran up to the mailbox to check the mail, came, parked it, got in it the next day to go check the mail, and it wouldn't go. And it's been sitting here, unfortunately, ever since.
Okay.
But my husband put in a radio.
Nice.
And it's very loud. He also put in all of the LED lights.
Hell yeah.
And they run off of a different battery. So
interesting. Do you have to charge that battery separately?
No. So as he's got it somehow to where the regular batteries will charge that battery so long as you never let the batteries go dead.
There's a
Got
couple of DC to DCs in the back. On the bottom.
Yeah, so DC to DC is back
and
there, right.
he put in this winch because there was one time we got stuck in the mud, and he was like, well, we're never going to have that happen again.
Oh, we like this guy. This is great.
So he put in this winch. As you can see, the tires, it has been used. It was our fun vehicle.
Was it pretty fast?
Very fast.
Okay.
It would the tires would spin.
Oh, great.
it was very, very fast. And we would go to a little town in Missouri where my family lives called Eminence, Missouri. It's a little tourist town. And we were driving around at night one night down by the river, and we had the LED lights on, and a cop actually showed up because he couldn't hear a vehicle.
Oh,
and he's
sure.
used to like four-wheelers and the side-by-sides that are really, really loud, And he came over and he was like, I was just freaking out. He was like, are there such thing as aliens? Because it was just so bright because of the LEDs. And
That's so funny.
that was fun. But we would decorate it for Halloween, and we would go in the little town Eminence, and we'd go trick-or-treating with our kids, and we would have it all decked out for Halloween. So
Amazing. Well, you got the boys already digging into it over here. So I'm sure this will be running in no time. That'll be great.
But
Bonnie was also saying they used to bring a generator on this thing.
yeah, it was right here. So my husband was also a welder, and so he was just able to.
So
what is
phone
the word?
service operator
Yes.
and welder.
My husband was the greatest man I've ever known, and I know he will always be. He was my hero from the very moment I met him. We fell in love very quickly.
How long ago was that? What year was that?
We got married on October 13th, 2000,
Yep.
on a full moon, and it was a Friday the 13th.
Oh, super cool.
So he asked me to marry him on 4th of July. So I can always say that there was fireworks.
Oh, amazing.
And he asked me to marry him in July. We were married in October. in his dad's backyard. And we were married for almost 24 years. And then he was fine. He was perfectly fine. And so a little bit of backstory. In 2020, my husband had a heart attack.
Okay.
He did not know he was having a heart attack. For an entire weekend, he kept complaining of indigestion. He never had indigestion, so I don't know why we didn't take it as a concern, but we were getting older, you know. Maybe now you have indigestion.
Yeah.
And so he kept complaining about just a burning sensation in his chest. And at the time, he was the fittest he had ever been in his life. He was doing 2 miles on a bike in the morning and the evening and swimming in our pool, an hour a day, every day except for Sunday. Sunday was the only day he took off. He was getting into the stock market. He was getting really good at it. And it just kept getting worse. And then one day I was asleep and he came in and he just kind of like fell on the bed and he was like, I think I have to go to the hospital, which with my husband, that was serious. That was, are you going to make it to the car? Like,
Sure.
do I need to
Wow.
get the wheelbarrow to carry you to the car?
Yeah.
So we got in the car and I drove him to the hospital. And at the time it was COVID.
Yep.
So I couldn't go in with him.
Oh, man.
So I literally just had to drop him off.
How far is that from here?
It's Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay.
So it's about 40 minutes.
Yep. It's a drive.
Yeah. So, and the entire time, so I don't know how old you guys are, but when I was a kid, I kept seeing the Bear aspirin commercials where if you felt like you were having a heart attack, take an aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as he said that he needed to go to the hospital, he thought he was, something was wrong with his heart. I'm like, we got to get you an aspirin. So I went in the bathroom. The only one that we had was the sleep time one.
Okay.
So I was like, this is great. Because if you go to sleep on
Yeah.
the way, are you dying or is it
Right,
just
you won't
because of the so he took one and then we got in the car and we were driving and he kept saying that it was getting worse. So
Oh,
he
man.
didn't bring any water, but we did bring the aspirin just in case the doctor asked, what'd you take?
Sure.
So he took some, but he had to chew them because we didn't have any water. And he chewed them. And then right before we got to the hospital, so it was about 20 minutes, and he was like, oh, it's starting to go away.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, no, you're
Go in
going.
there.
Like, you're not getting out of this. We're already here. Get out. So he goes in, and it turns out that he had a full-blown heart attack.
Wow.
They did not know how he was alive. The only reason the doctors believe that he was alive is because he chewed the Bear aspirin,
Really?
because it gets into your system faster. It gets into
Interesting.
your bloodstream faster if you chew it versus swallow it. And they believe that it thinned his blood enough. So he had to have a triple bypass surgery.
Wow.
He had one artery that was 100% clogged. The other two one was 98% clogged and the other one was 96% clogged. They had no idea how he was alive.
Oh, my gosh.
And so he had the triple bypass surgery and we thought we'd lose him then. And then he came home and life went on. And from then on
So this was 2020 then, right?
yeah, we were married for 20 years. He actually had his heart attack in October.
Oh, wow.
So that was our 20-year anniversary.
That's no way
and-
to celebrate.
No, no. And so I always called them my bonus years
Yep.
after that. And so I had almost 4 bonus years.
And what was his health like in those last 4 years? Was he still tinkering and working on stuff? And,
He did lay off the stock market.
yeah.
It's a very stressful, people think, oh, get into the stock market, you'll be rich. No, he studied the stock market for 1.5 years before he ever made his first trade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so everything was fine. He was back to normal. He was running around. That truck right there was actually in a major car accident.
Oh, really?
And the front end was completely smashed. And my husband got it back to working.
Yeah, it looks pretty good now.
Yeah, you would never know it was in a wreck. He actually...
So he did this in his last few years then?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this truck has only been back on the road for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
So yeah, he was back to normal. He was doing his thing. He was tinkering, and he rebuilt his shop so that he could get started on the EVs again. And
so was that the EV shop down there?
so we didn't live here before.
Okay.
So he was building that to be the EV shop.
Got it.
And it was taking, a little bit of time. He was doing everything himself.
Oh, wow.
And so right when he got it done, it was ready to go. And we were just waiting on some nice weather, to pull in some cars and start going. And he was going to start his YouTube channel again, because he kind of let it die. And he was going to start working on them. And he said that his ankles were swollen. And I'm like, why would your ankles be swollen? And he goes, I don't know. And so I said, well, do we need to go to the doctors? He's like, well, they're not really bothering me. Maybe, maybe it's just a little weird thing and it'll go away. And then it did. It went away.
Interesting.
And then it came back. And then he started getting out of breath and he just wasn't really doing well. We were begging him to go to the hospital, go to the doctor, go somewhere, there's something going on.
Yeah.
But he was just the type of the person that he just wasn't going to until he had made up his mind he was going to. And so one day, finally, we convinced him to go, and I drove him to the hospital, and he was in the emergency room, and they said that he had a blood infection.
Oh, wow.
And we have no idea why, but he was septic.
Huh.
And the doctor, his heart rate was really, really high. They were worried that he was going to have another heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him some medicine, and it was like 20 seconds later, he seized.
Really?
Yeah. So they came in and they had to resuscitate him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was rushed out of the room, and he was gone for 14 minutes, but they did bring him back. And then I called some friends to come get our daughter so she could go to the hospital, because they told us that was it, that we needed family and friends there. So we got our daughter there, and then he ended up having a heart attack 3 more times. So he had a total of 4 heart attacks.
After back.
the 14 minutes.
Yeah.
So
dang.
they had him on life support, and the doctor said it would be fine if me and my daughter went up to see him. I'll never forget rounding the corner and hearing code blue. And I had my daughter with me, so I didn't want her to see that, even though she's an adult. So I tried to get her out of the area, and because I didn't want her to see her that. But they did end up bringing him back and getting him on life support again.
Mm-hmm.
And he lasted 10 days.
Wow. So after all of that still came back.
And the thing of it is, and I'm a huge advocate for this right now, it's very important for people to know what their loved ones want. And after my husband had his first heart attack, we had a lot of conversations. And he never wanted to be a vegetable. He never wanted to be just alive or kept alive. And he always said he never wanted to be on life support. Mm-hmm. He never wanted to be on life support. And that was the hardest that was the hardest part I've ever had to go through, besides being a widow, is trying to decide, am I honoring him by keeping him on life support because the doctors are telling me there's a chance? Or is this what he means by, I don't want to be on life support?
Right.
So it's very important that no matter how old you are, that you talk about that. Because the doctors kept saying he might only have to be on life support for a couple of days. Well, if that's the fact, then I don't want to say don't put him on life support. But we didn't talk about that part. And having not the knowledge of it also doesn't help. So then his kidneys started failing and he had to be put on dialysis. And then I thought, is that something he wouldn't want? Would he not want to be on dialysis? But then the doctor said it could be temporary because his kidneys could just be in shock, and then he could regain his kidneys and he could live a fine, perfectly normal life. And dialysis is not what it used to be. Dialysis used to be like you had to stay home, you had to be at a dialysis clinic every other day. And now that's not true. you can have a dialysis machine in your bedroom.
Right. Sure.
You can
Yeah.
have it done at night when you're sleeping.
Yeah. So is that classified as life support or not?
Exactly.
Where do you draw the line?
Exactly. So I just feel that it's very important for people to talk about it, and you're never too young to talk about it, because anything can happen to anybody at any time.
Yeah, it's great advice.
Yeah.
Really good advice.
Yeah. So my husband was able to get off of life support, and he was able to talk to us, which was very, very huge. And the first thing he said to me was sorry, because he knew he should have gone sooner. But anyway, my daughter got to talk to him again. That was really, really lovely. And she was really wanting that because she didn't see him the night before. So that was really, really good. And he lived 3 days after, and his liver started shutting down. At first, they thought there was a blockage, so they went to see if there was a blockage, and it wasn't. It was that his liver was dying. And then we had to talk about hospice, and I was hoping that I would be able to get him home so he could sit on the back porch and look at his lake, because he loved his lake.
Yeah.
But as soon as they unhooked the machines, he passed away in about 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So it was only the medicine keeping him alive.
Wow. Well, sorry.
It's
Of course.
okay.
I mean, we all feel terrible. I also think great advice, for everyone else. That's a good learning lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah. But it's
Nobody
super
does.
important.
Yeah. Also, for any spouse that allows their spouse or partner in life to spoil you, don't do that. I didn't ever worry about finances,
Yeah.
and I never had to worry about maintenance. I literally just floated around, and he took care of everything, and he loved it. Like, that's what he wanted. That made him very proud. But it's very hard to deal with
Yeah. Sure.
afterwards.
It's a total lifestyle change, I can imagine.
Yes, it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
And it's important to know how much finances you have, paperwork, passwords, because when they go, you can't get them back, and you can't ask them, where is this and where is that?
Right.
And so it's a gift to yourself, and it's a gift to them, because I know my husband was worried about it in those last days, because I feel like I'm a very lucky person that I never have to be told my husband loved me, because I know he loved me. And I wish he would have loved himself and taken care of himself as much as he took care of me,
Yeah. It's really,
because
really
he
good
would
advice.
be here today.
Yeah.
So it's a gift to you, and it's a gift to them. And knowing that if something happens, you will be okay, even though you're not going to be okay.
Sure. Well, there's no way to handle anything like this.
No.
No. It's insanely difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, I think if anything, maybe some people can benefit from hearing your story. And I know certainly, okay, I've got a checklist of things to do, even after just hearing what you said right there.
Yeah.
So that's really, really great advice.
Also, a very important thing that my husband did that I'm very grateful for, and he knew what he was doing when he did it. Bank accounts, insurance policies, anything that is of value, a beneficiary on an account outweighs a will.
Right.
It also overrules a will.
Interesting.
So if you have your beneficiary on a bank account, but then in a will it says that bank account goes to somebody else, it automatically goes to the person that's the beneficiary, and you don't have to have a lawyer.
Okay.
You just go in, you let them know, you bring the proper paperwork,
Yep.
and it just goes directly to you.
That is another great piece of advice right there. Amazing.
So
I guess even backing up a little bit, before your husband passed, what was the situation with the projects, with the cars? Why did he work on them for so long? What was
it was his passion. It was his passion. He absolutely loved to, for lack of better words, Frankenstein things.
Yeah.
And it was so empowering for him to get a vehicle that somebody had been working on for years and get it to work.
Yeah.
Like that was an exhilarating thing for him. He absolutely loved it. He's always been into cars. So when he was growing up, my husband started working when he was 15 years old as a machinist.
Oh, cool.
In California. He actually was in LA Times for being the youngest person to run a CMC machine.
Oh, wow.
And all his money went into cars.
Okay. I have a similar problem. So know how that goes. Yeah.
He loved S10s and he loved them slammed.
Yeah.
He loved IROCs.
Yeah. Great.
And he loved everything to be chromed.
Yeah. Cool.
So it was just a passion. And once he got into electric cars, why tinker with a ice,
Yeah.
you know?
Amazing.
Go with the new. So he loved it, and he just loved restoring them.
So he's got quite the story.
Yes.
He took really good care of you.
He did.
Left you with an amazing property, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
And but you've also got a bunch of cars around now.
Yes, I do.
And you don't know what to do.
I don't, and I'm very grateful to you guys because I don't want them just to sit here and rot. And I know nothing about it. And so my focus when I contacted a forum that he's a part of, and it's mostly the RAV forum.
Okay, yeah.
I just contacted them and I let them know that they're just sitting here. I don't want them to just rot. And all I'm asking is that my husband's story can be continued to be told because he's worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And he sounds like one of us too. I
He
mean,
would.
all the viewers are resonating with him.
No,
for sure.
seriously,
Yeah.
seriously. He would have loved to have known you guys. After I got the phone call, the first thing I wanted to do was run in the bedroom and tell him,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know, like, oh my God, you're not going to believe this, but you know,
Yeah,
so.
some silly YouTubers are stealing all your cars.
No, he would have been going right along with you guys.
Yeah.
I probably would be relocating to wherever you guys are because
Come on
he
out,
would want to
Colorado.
be a part of your club.
Yeah, absolutely. Would have been great.
So,
Well, let's see what the heck you
Okay.
have around here. So,
All right,
so
well-
we've gone through the bad boy, right?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
this is cool. We're gonna get this up and working for you.
Well, I
So-
appreciate it. Thank you.
And by
so
we,
much.
I mean not me. I have no technical ability.
So this van here, I believe came from Chicago area.
Okay, and it's another fully electric van.
It's a completely fully electric van. And this story was he loved this story. So
This is cool.
he bought it from somebody that had a business. You can actually still kind of
Yes,
see
the stickers and stuff.
yeah. And they had not even had it for very long. I don't know what year this is, but it is newer. And they were driving it one day and then it stopped working. And then they were like, what the heck? So they I believe it's a Ford. Is it a Ford?
Yeah. Alex, can you tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about this?
Azure Dynamics Transit Connect Electric.
Yeah. Like Robert said, this is an Azure Dynamics Ford Transit Electric. So it's a Ford Transit that was basically converted by a company called Azure Dynamics. They did these
how
in.
many?
I don't actually know the total number of them.
Something like that.
Is it that few?
There's 3 here, and there's EVTV has 2, and I know of one other.
Yeah, I know there's a few of them out there, and I've seen some posts on forums and stuff about them. And they're all like kind of 2011, 2012 era. Yeah.
I think this is a 2011 because that's what stands out in my brain.
Yeah.
But they contacted Ford. They were like, what the heck? Ford was like, bring it in. They're like, I don't know. And then it just starts running.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, what the heck? You know? So it kept happening. And eventually it just didn't run again. So they got frustrated and they listed it on eBay. And my husband got it. And he was trying to figure it out. And then one day he found a plug that was disconnected.
Oh, it just wasn't
And he
fully
was
plugged
like-
in.
He's like, no way. And it was like National Lampoon's Family of Christmas, you know, when the lights come on. And my husband was like, no, my husband was a cusser. So there was some very excited cuss words. And then he jumped in it and he rode it around. I've drove this a lot.
Really?
Yes. Personally, I think it's ugly. But it is the funnest car to drive.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because it's so low to the ground, but you can just, I mean, it's just so easy to control. and we never had an issue charging it. It was literally just a
Little wall outlet.
yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what it was. It's 2 wires that needed to be connected.
Oh, okay.
Now my husband did add the rims because, like I said, my husband was a rim guy.
Gotta keep the chrome.
I do believe the charger on this is, I don't know what this is. You guys probably do.
72.
Yep, exactly. The J plug.
Yeah,
There
just
you go.
regular J1772.
Yep. So it's
And it
just a,
seems nice. Seems like it just needs a bat.
I don't know what a bat is.
Oh, a bat.
A bath.
A little
Oh,
Needs a
yes, yes. Sorry, a bath.
Yeah.
So this will come right off.
Yeah.
It's pine sap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not sap. It's pine pollen.
Yep.
It just comes off. So this car, as you will recognize, Missouri.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, this car came from Missouri. This was our favorite RAV4. And it's obviously unique because there wasn't a lot of gray.
Yeah.
Normally you see them in white. The charging port is right here. This car was actually our daughter and our niece's first car.
Oh, wow.
And then he put a Palm Pilot.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. And molded like the dash around it too.
Yeah, oh, that was my husband. You weren't just going to...
And it's got the wood over here. Dang, mine's not that. Mine also doesn't have snow mode.
Now, I don't know anything about it, so but this one was very, very clean. And
Yeah.
obviously my husband had to put rims on it.
We even got the red drums back here.
He sprayed painted.
Yeah, love that. Okay, that's cool. And we've got the wood inlays. This is classy.
And then here's the back. And they were using this to go back and forth to their first job that they'd ever had.
Oh, perfect.
And then my husband was having some issues with, it just wasn't, the charge was just really bad,
Yeah.
you know. And he was just worried that if they were on their way home, they were working nights. I don't know what it is about kids these days, but they sure do like to sleep all day and stay up all night. So, so they were working nights, and we were just really scared that if something were to happen to a battery
Yeah.
in the middle of the night and they were on the country road, you know.
Yep.
So we parked it, and he was going to put new batteries in it. And that was what happened with this.
Okay,
So,
but the batteries never did make it in, right? It's still on that original battery pack.
as far as I know, I actually don't know if my husband customized these. My husband, he pretty much got rid of anything that was original and put in his own batteries because he got
so
really
Alex,
good
you
at
can
it.
tell us about that too, because we went back through his YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, so I went back through some of his videos, and a lot of the vehicles he did do conversions to lithium iron phosphate, or was in the process of, for sure. I know that one of the S10s
Yeah.
for sure had a lithium iron phosphate conversion, so it's very possible that this car could have, but I guess yeah, we don't know for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a Easter egg. What do we got?
Yeah, right.
So many questions we want to ask him.
Right. I know. He was so great at figuring stuff out. And there was one thing that if you ever told my husband it was impossible, he was going to prove that it was only because you hadn't figured it out yet.
He'll get it done.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
that.
he was such a unique person. He had so many things in life that could have made him give up and be a victim. When he was 16 years old, he had to have a complete hip operation.
No way.
He had a rheumatoid arthritis
At 16.
at 16 that deteriorated his hip joint.
Wow.
And so he had to have a complete hip replacement. So he always had a limp. And that could have made a person sit back and go, I'm going to collect disability and just whatever. But no, he was not that type of person. He was, nothing's going to get me down. I'm going to do this.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you've got these two, and then do you have charging equipment for
I
them?
do. This one particular is in this garage. I'll have to get, if we wanted to try to charge it, we could definitely try. You guys could definitely tinker with it if
I
you
think
wanted to.
Today we're probably going to tinker with a couple things.
All right. Now, it is a mess in here. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to be a widow.
Oh, it doesn't seem that bad in here at all. Oh,
Well,
you even got the electric lawn machine over here.
Yes.
Okay, little
Yeah.
with the wall-mounted EVSE. Nice.
So I've not taken care of it like he would have. He always kept everything really nice, and I, unfortunately, just getting up and mowing the grass was a good day for me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can also help with that, whatever you need.
So this is what he was charging that little gray RAV with.
Yep.
And it's all hooked up.
Yep. Great.
So I'm assuming that if you put it in there, it would do something.
Okay. Well,
The only one in Tennessee.
yeah, it's probably the only J1773 within 500 miles of here.
Well,
You called it that instead of magnet.
he has another one, so
Okay.
there's more than one.
There's another one. Great. I've got one of these in the back of my Cybertruck that I used to
I saw
charge my
that
RAV4
on your
with.
video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
So
just saw that.
I'm worried about it too because it gets bounced around back there.
Oh.
So it's nice to have a backup.
Yeah, my husband was so impressed when he watched the Who Killed the Electric Car because he couldn't, it's DC, right?
So it's AC induction.
Is it AC?
Yeah.
Induction.
Okay, but like you can put it in the water
Yeah.
and you're not going to get shocked.
That's right.
And he just thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the
They
safety.
had fire issues because they got too hot.
Right. So they were safe, but they had temperature issues.
So you needed to charge them in the
Robert,
pool.
did you know that these things were rated to up to 50 kilowatts?
50 on that?
Yes.
That paddle.
No, so yeah, that paddle design was supposed to be able to handle up to 50 kilowatts.
Did not know that.
But keep in mind, it would have been at 400 volts or something.
Okay.
So the amperage would have been still
Wild.
wild. Robert, what's your impression of all this? So
Oh,
far?
it's so cool. I would have loved to meet this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're going to be doing this for like, hopefully, like, imagine what the current electric car collector would have. It'd be like Model 3s or Polestars and stuff. And you just, there's so many of those cars that it may not be special. There's just so few of the stuff here that it's
Well, I'm
totally
also
unique.
thinking that this stuff, because it's older, would be easier to repair. You won't have to have some sort of subscription to like the Fisker software portal or whatever. You'll just kind of look at it like, oh, that's a Curtis controller. I just do Curtis controller things.
Amazing. Yeah, that's a great point. We were just talking about that Fisker software for whatever, $17,000 to get into it.
It's a $17,000 outlay to be able to work on the cars, basically.
Yeah, the Curtis program was $300.
So you have to buy the programming like rights?
For all the new cars, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so the
my
right to
gosh.
repair is really a hot topic of like
Yeah.
what should be free when
Yeah.
you buy a vehicle.
That I will say is what made my husband very upset about Tesla.
Yep.
And he was because he was a guy, he wanted to customize everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't even just buy a black truck. He had to have it up on.
Yeah, we've got it lifted, rims, we got the bed
Right.
situation
And
going on
then-
back here.
I got a gooseneck trailer that you want horses in. You don't want to drive down there like this with the horses. So he put airbags on the back of this so it'll lower
Oh,
to
perfect.
match but that was my husband. So he liked to do things like that. And when because he was learning about it when Tesla was just like, we were learning about Tesla when Tesla was bankrupt and you didn't know if he was going to make it,
Right.
and you couldn't even buy a car because the only people that were buying the cars were like the Roadster. And what was the Roadster? Like 200 and something.
It was expensive back then. I don't remember the
And there
exact.
wasn't even that many.
Yeah.
There was like 18.
Right.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. It was very
So
yeah.
when he was learning about it, and then when the Teslas was coming out, and then he watched EVTV too.
I was going to ask you.
Yes. I can't tell you how many times we drove past there and my husband just wanted to go, and just jump over and say hi to the guy.
Oh, they would have been there for 2 weeks together.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
They talked on the phone all the time.
Okay.
And so what was his name?
Jack Burger.
Yeah, Jack. So he has passed away,
Yep.
unfortunately, as well.
I was actually with Jack like 2 weeks before he passed away.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, yeah, but it was pretty sudden.
Yeah, his was really, really sudden.
Yeah.
And he just thought he had COVID. And then it turned out he had lung cancer.
Right.
And then he did chemo, and the guy was doing better on chemo than he had ever done in his life. He felt fantastic.
Well,
and then
Jack
he just,
didn't really live a super healthy
no,
life.
no. Anybody that's watched his channel knows that, the one thing he had a beef with Tesla was because the car wasn't easy to get in and out of.
Sure, yeah.
when you were a bigger person. But so anyway, my husband was watching his videos, and Jack had a lot of issues with Teslas not allowing you to just customize what you wanted on them. That's why my husband was watching him, to learn like all of
Yeah.
that stuff. But then we also learned, so another, just in case it's something that people think that, oh, well, electric cars, you can't work on them. No, they're doing that to everything now.
Yeah.
Farmers have been having a problem with John Deere.
Absolutely.
Not allowing you to work on your own tractor equipment. So it's not just an electric car thing. It is definitely across the board. They need customer repeat service.
Yeah, things are getting complicated, which means the risk of individuals working on them does mean like, okay, can you do it? But also like if you buy something, I mean, I know you feel this way, we should have full access to work on it.
If it's yours, you should be able to get it. And then my husband's argument always was, if you don't want people working on it because you're worried that people are going to hurt themselves, which, I mean, come on, we've all watched videos where you're like, that person should probably have been able to do that. But at the same time, if a company goes out of business, you should be able to get the rights to at least have somebody else get that software to fix your stuff.
Totally.
Because otherwise they go out of business and you've lost whatever you have.
You're screwed. It turns into a Fisker situation at that point.
Yeah. So there should be something to release the rights so that you can at least have a vehicle run over something simple.
What was I going to say? Tesla's gotten a little bit better recently by opening up Toolbox.
Last year and a half, 2 years, really improved with Tesla.
Sorry, you'll have to say it again.
Oh yeah, last year and a half or 2 years have really improved on the Tesla side of things for service.
Yeah.
The toolbox availability and the parts catalog and all that stuff. But it used to be really bad.
Yeah. I think it was almost like where you wondered if Tesla was going to be okay because it was a fantastic car, but the customer service was just awful.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It was really bad and extremely expensive.
Yeah, it's gotten so much better since those days, I would say.
Yeah.
So the truck's sick. Love this thing. You still drive this?
I do.
Hell
this is Black Stallion.
Love it.
He is a mean mammer jammer. I absolutely love this truck. I didn't drive this truck probably for 4 years. Because I was scared of it. I mean, look at this.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's full
pull into a parking lot, you know? I mean, but I will tell you that the reason why I absolutely love this truck and driving this truck is a lot of country roads. People think that because they pay taxes, they can drive on both sides of the road no matter which way they're going. They get out of my way.
Yeah.
They do not get out of my way when I'm driving that, which scares me. But in this, I'm just like, I'm queen of the road, you know? I mean...
Yeah, and if they do drive on your side, you'll just go over them.
I might feel like I hit a box, but I'm not really going. And of course, my husband put this on. This is not the original bed.
Sure.
My husband cried a little bit when we switched from the regular bed to a flatbed because I loved flatbeds and he did not. He liked the way the truck looked before. But again, my husband being my husband was not going to put this bed on just like you're supposed to. It is completely welded to the truck.
That's amazing.
So if this truck, if anybody rear-ended me, I probably would never even know I was rear-ended.
That's amazing.
So,
it's a sick truck.
This Tesla also, we got the back seat.
Oh, you got the third row back there? Let's open it up. Can we show everyone?
Let's see. Yeah. I'll have to stand out here because of internet though.
Oh, okay.
So hold on. Let me unlock her.
You've got all the little tricks sorted here.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
So the cool thing that we didn't that we didn't know when we got the back row seating, we just thought it was really, really cool and we wanted it.
Yeah.
But what we found out later was this has to be reinforced.
Yes.
And so this is much safer than,
Alex, you want to show us what's, oh yeah, Bonnie's got it. Hell yeah.
All right. So here we go.
Alex, have you worked on Model S's with these?
Not very often. You don't really see the jump seat.
They don't make them anymore, right?
No, not anymore.
Didn't he stop?
Yeah.
They haven't had them. Was it 2017 they stopped offering it? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe 16. Maybe this was the last of it.
This might have been the very last.
There you go.
To find a P100D ludicrous with this seating option is super rare.
This is definitely ludicrous.
Yeah.
Also, he upgraded the iPad. It's not an iPad.
Oh, the screen.
The screen. He did. He
Yeah.
did. He upgraded it to the newest. He tried so hard to get the old screen because we paid for it.
Yeah, to give it back to him. Yeah.
They wouldn't. They said no.
But this is incredibly cool. So this is what you're ripping around most of the time then?
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
I do drive this. And since do shopping in Jackson, Tennessee, I use the charger now, you know. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, got the new supercharger down there.
and I don't get charged.
Yeah, that's right. Got your free
Yeah.
charging.
I'm a widow now.
Yeah.
My husband died, so you know,
Get the free juice.
I got to do what I got to do.
Love
so,
it. Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. Well, it's a really, really cool spec. Super
Oh,
nice
here's
car.
the damage from the horse.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you got to tell everyone what happened.
So last summer, we were swimming, and I let the horses out to eat the grass, and they came in here. And
Just wandered in.
yeah. And our daughter came around the pool, and my daughter was like, the horses kicked the Tesla. And we're like, no, they didn't. And she's like, well, they're all in there, so they kicked the Tesla. So, of course, we get out of the pool, and we run in here, and I get the horses out, and then I look. My gelding decided he wanted to know what a Tesla tasted like, so he bit it.
That's amazing. That is really funny.
But he did not kick it.
Yep, but he just bit it.
He just bit it. He just bit it.
I wonder what made him want to bite it. That's so funny.
They're horses. I had somebody explain it to me like this one time, and it makes total sense. They don't have hands. So the only way that they can discover something, we feel,
Yeah.
horses nibble or they with their nose. So I'm sure he was just trying to figure it out.
Well,
and
good thing he didn't bite the charger or any
no,
cables or anything.
seriously,
Yeah.
seriously. We would have known it then.
Yeah, totally. You would have known that. That's for sure. Okay, very cool. So what we should do, I think, is there any EV stuff in the shop down that
I
way?
have an electric four-wheeler down there.
Oh, let's go check it out.
And there is a charger down there. So
Okay.
I
Well,
can
off
show
we
you
go.
that. So here is my husband's shop that he had literally, and it's a mess. I, again, have not been keeping
Oh,
up with
cool. We've got so much cool stuff in here.
it. So,
Yep.
yeah, there's going to be lots and lots of batteries.
Please tell me this is electric.
No,
That would be cool.
I wish.
Yeah, they make them electric now.
Do they
Yeah,
really?
just recently, yeah.
I could only imagine. There is, I do believe that's a charger.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know what kind.
Hey, Alex,
It's very small.
you know, does this look familiar? That blue thing up there? She says that's a charger for something.
I mean, it has a
Yeah, it's a magnet charge. It's like a portable magnet charge. I've never seen a portable one before.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a 110 volt.
Oh, here you
I
go.
mean, there's the plug on the end of it right there.
515 on it.
It's
Yeah.
a level 1 magnet charge.
Holy smokes! All right, well that's convenient to have.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right.
This was his collection of electric RCs
Yep.
that I know nothing about either.
We've got the old Terminator.
Yes, he bought that, and it works. I just can't figure out how to turn it on. But he used to play it all the time. This is his charging. This was where he did all of his battery stuff. So
Okay,
there's
interesting. Yeah.
a whole mess of batteries there.
Yep.
He could not just have anything regular, so he put in a stereo system.
Oh,
in the
nice.
shop.
Huge subwoofer. Nice. Okay, love it.
Here's the way you control it. Yeah. He had to put 3 TVs in here. Yeah, that's the four-wheeler that he was working on it for me so that I could run hay and stuff. I have a little tow behind manure scooper.
Oh yeah, and this is where you'll hook that up.
Yep.
Cool.
And he was in the middle of it, and he told me, a couple more days and your four-wheeler is going to be back. And that is when he got to where he couldn't work on it, and here it has sat.
Well,
So is this paint or fire damage?
I do believe it's fire damage. I don't know if it's fire or if it just got really hot and almost fire. I can't answer that. I don't know.
Is it a net gain? Hyper 9? No.
So this was a company called Mean Green.
okay.
Oh.
Yes. And he knew a guy who always ran around and just would buy the weirdest things in an auction. And he lived in a town, and this is really the name of the town. It's called Hole in the Wall, Tennessee.
That's amazing.
And that is where he lived. And he called my husband one day, and he was like, it was Mean Green. Wasn't that what it was called? Mean Green?
Yeah, they make mowers too, don't they?
I don't know. He said that there was a mean green, like dealership, I guess, in Nashville that had gone out of business, and they had all of these four-wheelers out in the field.
Oh, wow.
And the guy bought them at an auction because he knew my husband worked on electric stuff. So we hooked up the trailer and we went to Hole in the Wall and we picked these up.
I love that it's called Hole in the Wall.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So how many did you get out of that? Just this one, or?
No, I think we got 7.
Oh, dang. What happened to the rest?
So slowly but surely, my husband would rob one to fix another.
Uh-huh.
And we just got down to where we were down to one.
Yeah. And this
It
is
was mine.
Yeah.
A couple of them were actually police cars or police four-wheelers.
Oh, really?
They had the sirens and the speaker thing and everything on them. Unfortunately, one of them, a little girl that we had over, she got in an accident in it, and it scared my husband. So after she rolled it, he wouldn't let any of the kids
Ride
on it anymore. But that was how one got destroyed. It got rolled, and it completely, it rolled the whole thing. It was a really scary accident. Kids should not be on four-wheelers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're super, super heavy. These things are so heavy. I don't know if it's like normal for a four-wheeler to be heavy because I don't know anything about them either.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But they're monstrous heavy. And I know these batteries are new. I know he just bought these batteries.
Okay.
Same that's in the bad boy.
Yeah. The reason why he put the black trash bags on them is because we get a lot of mud and dirt, and this was going to be in the barn.
Okay.
And he just thought it would help with the hay from falling in it, because when he took it apart the first time to fix it, it was just full of hay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
This is more of like just a protection.
So he was like,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that.
Fortune battery. I was wrong.
What are the specs? Does it say anything about them?
60 amp hour, 3.2 volt because it's LFP. I think the one on the bad boy said 320 watt hour per cell.
Okay.
I know that he bought these sooner than he bought that one, because he fixed that one a while ago and then he purchased these again. So I don't know if they changed in the meantime.
Yeah, could have. Yeah,
I
sure.
don't know.
Definitely worth, we'll get to the bottom of it. So this one, we collectively, through either Alex or Robert or the rest of the EV community, will get this running. So
Thank you.
You can have this to cruise around in.
I really, really do appreciate that. That would be absolutely amazing. Absolutely.
Maybe we can make it faster.
Recognized in lots of parts I don't.
It'll be a fun project for sure. And it'll definitely make an interesting video. So
For
you
sale.
found this on the curb.
Yeah. And so he stopped and he was like, "What's wrong with it?" And the guy was like, "Oh, the batteries are dead." He's like, to replace the batteries, you might as well just buy a new chair. And my husband was like, "Not me." And the guy's like, "You'll never get it working." So he loaded it up in the back of the truck and took it to our house that we used to have. And it was 10 minutes later. He literally drove the granny chair to the guy's house because it was right next to our house. And he just spun it around. And the guy was like, "How'd you do that?" And he was like, "What I do."
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so it's a custom granny chair. As we called it the granny chair because the kids were calling it a granny chair. So that just became its name. And then somebody actually just this summer had a couple of more and they were like, "Do you want them?" And he was like, "I guess so." So he took them.
Nice. Okay. Love
this one does work. I don't know if that one works or not, but
it. Yeah.
he always had fun in it. It was super, super fast. And he always loved to,
Oh, hit the horn. Nice.
I always love to tell you, get out of the way. All right. So here you go. We got another fun.
Oh, motorcycles. Zeros. Yeah.
All right.
Dang.
Yeah. Oh, this is how he started the tub business years and years and years ago. That was his Blazer that was slammed
Yep.
with
Nice.
IROX.
Love it.
It's what he drove from California to Tennessee.
Oh, amazing. So cool.
But anyway,
The Zeros.
so this one,
Old school zeros.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
this is Tesla batteries.
Oh, really?
Yes. So he redid this one. There is a video on his channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a video on some of the other
So our old shop in Jackson, he actually had I don't know, the thingies to wheel it up so you can hang things.
Oh yeah,
Whatever
just like mounting
W-
racks?
winches, I guess. A winch like in the ceiling.
A hoist?
Yeah, like a hoist, but it was electric.
Okay.
So he put a chain on this and he hoisted it up. And that's how he got underneath there.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it charges with a, let's see, where is it? It's just you hook it up with a computer charger.
Oh, like a little printer
Yeah.
charger. Yeah,
Where-
totally.
Where?
USB slot.
Yeah. We could probably convert it to USB-C.
Oh, here it is. It's right there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
nice. I actually think you can still charge a zero like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how he charged it. I did. I plugged it in because I mean, in the very beginning of my widowhood, I was like, I'll just go 100 miles an hour down the road. I'll learn how to ride a bike.
Nice.
But could never get it to start. I could never get it to charge. Nothing would happen.
Okay.
So I don't
Probably
know.
needs a 12-volt jump.
Yeah. I don't know if these actually have.
Do they just run off DC to DC?
I'm not 100% certain on these old ones.
I know both
They're
of them
DC motors.
were running.
Yeah, they're DC motors on the old ones.
That's crazy.
They were running. Now, the reason why my husband didn't like the dirt bike is it's really tall.
Okay. Yeah.
And with his artificial leg or hip, it was really hard for him to.
So how did he get these?
This one came again from Chicago area.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a simple little wiring issue that the guy could never figure out. My husband had it figured out within a few minutes.
Amazing.
And driving down there. This one's loud because of the type of belt on it. It has a chain.
Yeah,
it has a
so-
chain.
Yeah, that's got to be noisy.
This one has a belt. So I don't know where my husband got this one. I'm not really sure. I know he started with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then he saw this one and decided he wanted to get it. And he drove this one around and he said it's the closest you'll ever come to flying
Oh, wow.
without
Cool.
getting off the ground.
Nice.
Because there's no sound.
Yeah.
It's I mean, if you want to be a detective and have a vehicle,
This is the way,
this
yeah.
is the one you want.
Yeah, I ride an electric motorcycle now at home, and yes, no one ever hears me coming with it,
Yeah.
which is almost dangerous in a sense, but
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah. So, and my husband did like things that went really fast. So, yeah, he actually said he scared himself driving this because it was so easy to go crazy
Yeah.
that it made him worry that he was going to get himself hurt by getting into too much fun.
Well, we don't need any more of a sales pitch. That's all we really want.
I'm coming up with this air box here for the motor cooler.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Yep.
I don't think he did. The only thing he did was change it to Tesla batteries. And I think it's because the batteries that were in there just weren't.
Yeah, just degraded or
Yeah.
something.
You have to re-
Pretty common on that.
Did you see the process in the video?
He built like modules with the Tesla cells, so he built his own modules.
Okay,
from
so you had
scratch.
to reconfigure a module to tear it apart then.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was super easy for him. That was
This isn't working.
that was super easy for him to figure out. He just knew how to do that kind of stuff. That was not even an issue for him at all. And he loved it. He absolutely loved it. He would get so lost in time. Like I would have to go in there and remind him that it's time to eat because he would just be like, oh, and he would just like literally feel like he just got up and went in there and it had been all day.
Wow. Cool.
But I do know he helped a lot of people out on his YouTube video with this because I don't know the details, but there's something that you have to do in order maybe to make it accept new batteries. I don't know if that's what it is. There was something that a lot of people are having trouble with, and Zero will not help you.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to do like a different battery management system and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw the dirt bike one actually has an Orion DMS on it.
Well, that's huge for a dirt bike.
It's just got the little
Oh, okay.
because they're only like a 48 volt system, I think, or maybe 72. They're fairly low voltage. Yeah.
But anyway, a lot of people thanked him on his YouTube video on this because it's not that hard to figure out. But my husband had to figure it out by himself.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, always helping the community. That's cool.
Yeah.
I give up way too quickly for that.
Robert's like in the trash can.
This is just a little storage room. My
Okay.
husband. Now this room is kind of
DeWalt,
like how he
nice.
left it, and this is how my husband loved things.
Holy smokes.
My husband was a very organized person. He loved.
Very organized.
He okay, so what my husband hated was like even these shelves are shallow because he wanted to be able to look and see exactly what was on that shelf. There was nothing that irritated my husband more than anything is to try to find something, go to the store and buy it and come home and then find it.
Yep.
Which somebody made the joke, that's how you find things. But it just aggravated him to the core. So this is
Oh,
what
the burned module that was on the ATV. There's three
Yep.
more burned.
Three more burned ones.
it was probably one of those things just in case. Because that was another thing. My husband was never afraid to take something apart.
Well, we can tell.
So if he
great.
kept those just so later he could take them apart to see what was inside of them, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wish I knew the story behind the three new in-box soldering irons stacked on top of each other.
It was probably one of the things where he thought he needed a new one and then went to the store and bought one and then discovered that they were just behind something.
And he put it up as a monument.
Yes.
To remind us.
Don't ever do that.
He even would hot glue what's in the drawer so you didn't have to open the drawer to see what was in it.
Was he Adam Savage?
I don't know.
That's really
You know, as surprising as you may not believe me, but he was not OCD. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, yes, he was. Yeah, now he was probably ADHD. This was also a pride that he took a lot of pride in. When he set up this air compressor,
Yeah.
he had it to where every place that it went in the shop, he could turn it off just in case there was a
leak.
a pipe, like a little hole. And then we could still use his air compressor
Amazing.
and fix it later.
I feel so lazy now.
This just makes me feel really bad about myself being in here.
This is also something that he set up.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, and he couldn't stand wires that were just hanging around loose. I can't tell you how many wires he cut and redid
Yeah,
Well, we're looking at one right here. A bunch of them.
because he couldn't stand it. He could not stand it. But this is also something that he put together on a dolly. It is a battery that's always charged.
Oh,
Yeah, we're probably going to use that today, actually.
It even has a key.
Oh, nice.
So that you can turn it on so that while it's sitting here charging, it's not connected, which makes it easy to wheel around. And of course, he had to put that this is your black wire and your red wire so that you know exactly where to hook it onto the thing, which I am very grateful for because I've had to use it a couple of times since he's been gone. So
My carb freight on the way home again.
Yeah, we all need this exact solution. I needed this about 40 times in the last week. This is so smart. Okay, love it. We're learning so much. And we've also got, look at this, Tesla J1772 adapters.
Segway charger.
There's a Segway charger.
there's two Segways.
What?
Yeah.
Actually, that is the OG J-Adapter stuff.
That's all old QC
That's
charge.
old quick charge.
Wait, what are you pointing at?
Yeah, this is where Alex used to work.
J-Adapter stuff.
Oh, the what's with that thing?
Yeah, I've got that exact one at home, Alex.
It's a chonky contactor.
Yeah, holy smokes.
This building is also, it has a regular AC unit, so it heats and cools.
Amazing. Well, why don't we just move in here?
You
This is
like
amazing.
you like license plates.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Christmas gift I gave him.
Tesla always picks gas. Love it.
In the Volkswagen font.
Is that the Volkswagen? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I think it. What was
It's like
it?
ID or whatever. Yeah.
It was a long time ago on the when you could customize, I think it's cafe something.
I like the EV sign over here. That's
My
cool.
daughter painted that.
Really?
My
That's
daughter,
really cool.
she's a artist.
Yep.
And she was probably 7
That's
when
amazing.
she did that.
Cool.
So,
The early days of the work.
oh, this is a fun story.
Oh, guys, check this out.
So this is, so the barn, when it was a barn, stopped here. He put this in, and this car lift
Yeah.
right here, because he wanted to make sure, he used to have an H1 Hummer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to sell it.
Would have been cool to electric swap the Hummer.
He
Do
wanted
like a
to
jerry
so
rig
bad.
thing.
He wanted to so bad. But he wanted to where if he ever had to do oil changes or anything in the H1, this lift could handle it.
I would say it could handle it.
The concrete where the marks on the floor
Yeah.
are about 3.5 feet deep.
Right. All reinforced. Yep.
So the instructions for this, I think, was 1.5 feet. So my husband was like, we're doubling it.
Yeah. Overbuilt it.
So he doubled it. And then he put this in. There's the segways.
So how do you get these? What's the story with these?
I do not know.
Do they work?
Yes. And he had to redo the batteries.
They're
of course.
early segways.
I think this one is actually charged. It's got the green light going.
Oh, yeah. Check that out.
So he loved whipping around on these things. I was always too scared. You can get so unbalanced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and doing this makes it go this
Yeah.
way or that way, which just throws you off. So that's the four-wheeler.
Yeah.
He was going to redo all of it and paint it. So that was the other thing. He could do body work and all that. I was going to see if it said mean green on it.
What could he not do?
I survived septic shock.
Yeah, there you go. That's about it.
That was the one thing that he didn't make it through. So this is a really fun story. This came from Ohio. And my husband bought it on eBay because it didn't work. The batteries were dead, which I don't know if you've caught on yet. That never scared my husband.
Yeah, that's like a selling tool. Like batteries.
No, that was definitely a selling point. So he found it on eBay, and I don't know how much a forklift is supposed to be. It's a Toyota forklift.
Yeah, no, they're nice.
I don't know how much it's supposed to be worth or anything like that, but they practically were giving it away because it was a battery situation.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent our guys that worked at the business up to go get it. And when they went up to get it, we didn't realize how heavy a forklift was. Well, it killed their truck, basically. The truck was like, we're not hauling this. And then the little trailer that they took with it, the trailer was like, help. So in the middle of the day, my husband was like, we have to go rescue them. And none of us had slept because, we figured they were going to run up there, grab it and come back, So I was like, what are we going to do? And he's like, we're going to go get it. And I'm like, okay. So we get in the truck and we're headed up there. My husband sleeps while I'm driving up there while pulling a trailer. It was my first time driving Black Stallion while pulling a trailer.
Nice. That was the first experience.
And I had never done that before. And it was in the middle of the night and there was a lot of road construction. So I'm just going. And then we get to Ohio. Me and my daughter go into a hotel room. We're sleeping. My husband goes and gets them and tries to put the forklift, and all that, but then ended up having to get somebody to help him move the fork because it's dead. It's not working. So they ended up getting the forklift on the trailer that we had brought. And my husband wasn't getting any sleep because he was doing all this. So then he gets the forklift on and he comes and gets us. And then we're driving home. And then my husband is tired again. So he was like, you're going to have to drive. And I was like, okay, I ain't never done this before, but we had the 2 guys. Mm-hmm. So I told them just stay in front of me. Yeah. And I'll just do whatever you do. So whatever you're going to do, I'm going to do. And I've got a heavier load than you. So be careful what you're doing. It was the coolest feeling because we found out later it's like 7,000 pounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 And the black stallion, the black truck, loves a load.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It loves it. And it was just cool to drive it. So we get home, he pulls it into the shop that we had, and in a matter of couple of days, he had it running. And
That's amazing.
he spray painted it black, and then he loved Grant steering wheels.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he put a Grant steering wheel
I love it.
on this forklift. And he just absolutely, we used it all the time in our old house because everything was paved, but you're not going to go on dirt.
Right. Sure. Of course. Yeah.
So this is a one of a kind.
Yeah. Is this the only one?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
We saw a brochure,
And so
and it must be this one.
I found I Googled it and I found some pictures online, and the one that I found, actually, it was this one.
Yeah,
The
New York
one that I
Power
saw
Authority.
online
Yeah.
said New York Power Authority.
It's got to be this
Yeah.
one.
So it must be this one.
Now,
That's amazing.
it looks terrible, but that will power wash off really, really easily.
It's all just
Yeah, it's just surface. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you are not going to be able to power wash this off.
Yeah, but that's okay. That seems like a pretty standard replacement.
So my husband had a load of lava rock delivered
Oh wow.
and dumped because the Tennessee mud is
Yep.
hockey mud when it gets wet. And he was up here brush hogging. He forgot about the lava rocks, and you can't hear anything in that skid steer. And then
He was just throwing them.
I came up here a couple of days later, and I'm like, Papa, all the windows are broken. And he was like, somebody tried to break in them? And then I don't know. And then he started looking, and he's like, it was me. He's like, oh my gosh. And so, yeah, he did do a lot of damage. She said, we had this open just the other day. I don't know how you do.
This might be good for EVTV to have.
Here, maybe you can
Yeah,
figure
maybe
it
we
out.
should give it to EVTV.
Yeah.
Um,
Also put them in charge of coming to get it.
I had it. Maybe it was the other
I've got
day.
that
There you
sorted
go.
actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I can bring this back to Colorado. This is going on Danny's car hauler. That was the plan.
Oh, this goes up.
He does. Yeah.
There we go.
No batteries. Yep. Okay. EVTV it is.
It even says Selectria on the steering wheel and the dash.
They built one.
They
Yeah, can you show everyone inside out?
insulation out of the most flammable
So-
material.
Really?
Selectria on the steering
That
wheel
is actually funny.
and on the dash here, and it looks like we've got 9,000 miles on the odometer.
What is
Someone
that?
drove this thing 9,000 miles, dude. It
For
only
one
had like a
smog.
40-mile
Is that what it
range,
is?
as far
Yeah.
as I could tell.
Yeah, so underneath here, we've actually got two separate motors side by side on either side of the drive shaft, and I believe they're connected together with a cogged belt.
It's got the belt between them, I guess, or something.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, there it is. It's got the cogged belt between the two motors to connect to the drive shaft. And does it have? I don't think it has a gear reduction, so it's just direct drive straight to the rear axle there.
So how did he get this?
I don't remember. He got this when he really started buying a lot.
Okay.
So it was really hard for me to keep track of
What happened?
where, yeah, and everything. But everything that he bought, it was on eBay.
Yeah.
That was where you got things like this.
Amazing. Well, I think this might even go to EVTV, which was Jack Rickard's old shop.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
that was what Robert was thinking, was they might be interested in playing around with this, which I think would be
Yeah.
perfect.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Get it to closest. It's
Yeah.
not that far.
It's not that far.
3 hours?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look like it's missing.
Yeah, missing some modules.
I do like that we have a little Dixie cup in here.
Missing.
Oh, yeah,
controls.
nice.
There's your three phases.
Yeah, that's a classy Dixie cup. Everyone needs
Yeah.
one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also something here that's not hooked up. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That might be. Maybe that was supposed to be a diagnostic cable.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Almost looks diagnostic.
He does have all
Or
those
maybe it
things.
hooked up to the controller.
Huh.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I assume this probably had dual controllers for the dual motors.
good point.
'Cause
Mm.
there's three phase connectors on both sides here.
Yep. Okay, well, this is going to be one hell of a project, that's for sure. But I don't think we should let this one die. This is such a
we-
unique thing.
We did find this funny, that they have your smog index.
Oh, smog 0. Cool. So this is the only one, as far as we can
As
tell.
far as we know, as far as I know, I think that's the biggest reason why my husband wanted it.
This is the one we are most excited about.
Yes,
Because
so
it's the rarest, maybe? Well, this is definitely the rarest.
I do believe it is either 1 or 3 of the kind. I
As far
don't
as
know.
we can
As
tell,
far as we can tell, according
4?
to the Ionna collection.
Here,
Yeah,
you can explain this one.
yeah, so according to the Ionna collection
In Colorado.
in Colorado, on their website, according to what they can find, there's only 4
Okay.
known to exist.
Okay.
I don't know if this is one of those 4, or maybe it's makes for 5. I don't know.
I feel like this would be known because it was on YouTube.
Probably, but I think it was all. I mean, it was in. It was. I know that it was briefly in a video,
Can
but
you
I
explain
don't know.
what it is?
Yeah, so it's. I mean, it's basically a Dodge Caravan that's electric. Oh, look,
Yep.
here's our battery enclosure. So, battery enclosure is behind it, but yeah, it's basically a Dodge Caravan that was done as an electric for that original. It even has the HOV stickers on it.
I guess doors on both sides.
Bam.
And yeah, interior actually looks pretty clean. Look at that driver's seat.
Yeah.
Almost no wear on it.
Okay.
That one's locked.
It's the, what's the odometer say? Oh, it's electronic, so we don't know.
Was this sanctioned by Chrysler?
Yes.
This is a factory OE
Yeah,
product.
this is factory
I missed that
OE.
whole explanation.
Yeah.
Probably just explain that.
So they made them both as a Dodge Epic and a Plymouth Epic.
Do we actually know which one this is? Does it have a Dodge badge or a Plymouth badge?
I
It's a
saw
Dodge.
a Ram.
And
so
it's got
yeah.
the Dodge
The Dodge front end.
front end. Does it have, what does it
Yeah,
have
we're
for a
not knowing.
VIN?
The VIN is on the
Yeah,
door.
Probably easier to see the one on the door.
Wow. The controller software.
Okay, so it just has kind of a regular VIN. It doesn't have like a really low
What is
number
the
or something.
ending of the VIN for all the Epic
One
enthusiasts?
194803.
So maybe this is the third one.
Could be. I mean, it
3
might have just been
stands out.
serialized with the rest
the
of
rest
the
of them. Yeah.
caravans. Yeah.
Three keeps standing out in my head.
Yes.
My husband did buy this from a gentleman in California.
Okay.
I believe he is how Alex probably found out. I'm not really sure. He was very helpful when my husband first passed away, and I asked him if he knew how I could find homes for him. He suggested that I contact a museum that's in Nashville.
Yeah, the Lane Motor Museum.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I never did. And so anyway, I don't know if that is kind of like the chain that got to you guys. I'm not
I don't think so,
positively.
right?
He might have known somebody that.
Yeah,
known
he might have
somebody
known
that-
somebody that knew somebody, or yeah,
Yeah,
not
but
100% certain how the chain went there, but
So
Yeah.
do we know the history of, like, did this car ever run with you guys?
not with us. My husband never. This was one of the ones that was going to be the first ones in the shop.
Yeah.
It was going to be the first one in because he really wanted this one to work.
Yeah,
He
so
really,
we-
really did. And the gentleman in California, I will give you his contact information,
Great.
and he's probably going to give you so much more information. My husband actually drove to California and met with him, and then towed this all the way home on Black Stallion,
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
on the trailer on Black Stallion.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go. Nice.
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone a little bit about the Ionna collection, what they have for this?
yeah. So the Ionna collection, they have a pretty large collection of these carb era, late 90s, early 2000s EVs, and they have tons of literature, like service manuals, wiring diagrams. They have parts for some
They
vehicles.
even have an EVSE.
Yeah, I think they have 4 of the EVSEs for this. I guess that's something we could show. It actually uses some kind of proprietary connector, and the EVSE was built by Lockheed Martin.
Oh, wow.
So it uses,
Is
That-
it DC?
nope, it's AC,
It's AC. Okay.
but it's some weird proprietary thing that,
Never seen that before at all.
yeah. So, yeah, charging it without that could be a challenge. So maybe we'll have to see if we can figure out a way to get a hold of one of those. If anybody knows where a Lockheed Martin charger is, That would certainly be useful.
So many people are going to email us after that.
Oh yeah.
That also might be the reason why he never got it going.
Okay, yeah.
And it was probably one of the things he was just going to convert it to something he could charge.
Might just need to be bypassed and converted to something else.
Sure. Wouldn't it be cool if we could keep the original, though?
Oh yeah.
That would be
If
fantastic.
Ionna's got 4 of them,
Yeah.
well, we should hopefully be able to get one. Cool.
Full battery, apparently.
And then we've got another Transit here.
Does this have a diesel heater? Not to derail it. There's an exhaust pipe here.
It could have a diesel heater.
Wouldn't be too surprising, I
Yeah, it
guess.
looks like a diesel heater exhaust.
So then you have another one of the Fords, and
they are all on blocks, I see.
Yes, he
well,
did put
at least these ones are. I guess those are.
These had been moved recently.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, that poor thing really got hammered.
Yeah, that one's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Luckily, RAV4 windows are easy to find.
I do not know where he got this one. This was another one where he just started collecting them, and I just started losing track. But the dent was in it when he bought it.
Oh yeah, it's got a big dent in the roof. It looks like you might be able to just.
Yeah, I was
push
going
that
to say,
out.
but if somebody gets in there and just gives it a good shove, it might pop right back up.
Oh, clean.
Is it clean?
Well, spider webs.
It's mostly clean.
Oh, there's a bunch of tires in here. I don't know where they go or...
Oh wow.
Was his first name Tire and his last name Rack?
Watch your fingers.
There's something right here. I don't know what that thing is, but you guys might find it
Looks like
interesting.
maybe a DC to DC converter or something.
Oh yeah, you're probably
That's cool.
Oh yeah, and it looks like there's a positive battery, like insulated thing on it.
I think these are Tesla tires.
They're pretty extreme.
They look like they're about the right size.
My husband did like the ludicrous mode.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And then we've got more first-gen RAV4 EVs.
Yes.
So is this 3 in total?
Yes.
Plus the one up.
no,
at the
no,
top.
there's only 2 here. So there's 3. There's
Oh, there's
2 white
3.
ones and a gray one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so 3 total.
But no batteries in this one, right, Alex?
I do believe all of them have
Hold on,
batteries.
we can take a peek underneath.
They're sitting up so high.
The RAV.
No, it has the battery case in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be empty, but the enclosure is there.
I do know that we were able to drive that one around.
Oh, really?
Oh really?
Yes.
Okay.
We were able to. That's another
And this
license
was
plate that I
how long ago do you think
Smell
this one
the
was?
clean air.
How long ago do you think this one?
Oh, it would have been 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. So
'Cause,
it's a long time.
yeah,
ago.
I mean, I think my husband drove it up and down the driveway.
Wow, the wheels on them are really clean.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
curved wheels.
No, no.
And now we're getting to Alex's territory. Alex, tell us all about this Ranger.
Yeah, so we've got a Ford Ranger EV. I know that the battery enclosure is not mounted in this one,
No,
right?
no, it's not.
You know
And
that from YouTube?
well, I knew
had some
that.
pictures.
Yeah, because there were
Okay.
some pictures. I guess that you said there was a guy that was interested in it until he
Yes.
found out it didn't have the battery enclosure.
I don't know. I mean, I sent the pictures to him.
I just never heard from
And
him again.
he sounded like a friend was trying to talk him into doing it because the friend was rebuilding
Oh,
electric vehicles. So I think he wanted like a buddy. And when I was talking to him on the phone, he had a lot of questions that I couldn't answer. So I don't know if maybe he was just, he figured it would
Yeah,
be a little
people-
too
a little
much.
too much.
Yeah,
He was
Yeah.
married. I don't know if the wife was like, I don't want that in the backyard.
I don't want that in my
You
yard.
know?
Yeah,
It's got nice wheels.
yeah. Those are the factory wheels they had on the Ranger.
These do look a little weathered. So
Yeah, the
You-
tires certainly. And then I saw that it's got some torn up wiring here in the back too.
So this one is going to be really fun for you guys because it unfortunately has a very sad story.
Oh, really?
This vehicle came from Guam. So I do know this story. This is kind of a funny story.
Bought it from
Oh,
Ford?
I had
My husband did.
thought that maybe the bed had been replaced
No,
because I
it's
saw the
rhino
inside
lined.
was blue, but it's rhino lined with blue rhino liner.
Cool.
It had
It's
a blue
interesting.
camper on it when
Oh, fun.
when we bought it. So the gentleman that owned this vehicle worked for the military.
Okay.
And he was stationed in Guam. So he got this vehicle somehow. I have no idea how he got it, but the batteries were not charging, and they were my husband has a video on YouTube,
Okay.
which he will do a better job explaining. So he couldn't keep it charged, and that's why he sold it. And what was funny was the guy came back from Guam and sold it from like California or something. It was a West state. And so my husband bought it from him. When my husband went to register this car, they would not let him register it because they said it was from a foreign country. And they had to make sure that it was regulated to drive on U.S. streets.
Oh.
My husband had to school the state of Tennessee that Guam is a United States territory and it's not a foreign country.
Yes.
And no, I do not have to do all of that. Register my vehicle. And so they did, but it took like 3 months for him to get to somebody that he could actually point on a map and show them that
Guam
it is.
American territory.
It is indeed
Yes.
an American territory.
So then he got to work on it. He got it to run. He was,
Oh, really?
yes, it was driving. He was so ecstatic. He loved it. This was something he was extremely proud of because he definitely had a sweet spot for pickups. He loved mini pickups. So he was super, super excited. He was going to pull it into the shop, but before pulling it into the shop to do like some final things, that's all he had to do was just some little tweaks. And a gentleman that had worked for us, my husband said, "Did you disconnect the wire harness?" And he said, "Yes, it's disconnected." So I think my husband was taking the bed off or something. That's why it has that. And when my husband went to lift the bed off the truck, the wire harness was not unhooked
Oh.
and he ripped it.
Yep. So it needs a full repair.
Yeah.
And that
Should
is-
hopefully be repairable without too much drama, though.
that was the only thing that was wrong with this truck.
Okay.
Otherwise, my husband would have drove it all the time.
Yeah. I saw in the pictures that it looks like the box that's inside has most of the like internal parts for the battery, like
Yeah.
the contactor box and the BMS and stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
But
And the battery enclosure?
but the enclosure it's not mounted in the truck.
And I do not know where it's at.
Okay.
I have no idea if my husband was just gonna, because he knew he was gonna have to redo the whole thing anyway.
I would recognize it if I saw it someplace,
Yeah,
but
we might have to poke
Yeah.
around.
they for the Ranger they call it the coffin because it's long and
No,
narrow.
seriously.
It looks like a coffin.
Yeah, when I was watching his YouTube video the other night, he had said something about it was the biggest box that he'd ever taken out
so
of a
it
vehicle.
runs from just about the center line of the front wheels all the way back to about here between the frame
Yeah,
rails.
it was, and it's not extremely
And
wide. It's
It's pretty narrow because it
Yeah.
fits in between the frame rails, and it's
Yeah.
fairly tall
Yeah.
too. So it's probably, I don't know, about maybe a foot and a half tall, depending on where. There's a spot in the middle where it narrows down, where there's a cross member in the frame, and then it widens back out again. It's
And
pretty
Alex,
weird.
maybe you can explain. This is another factory electric vehicle.
Yeah, so this is another factory electric vehicle. And yeah, I think that probably about 15 or 1,600 of these were originally built. A little bit like the RAV4, these ones survived in a bit higher numbers than some of the other carb EVs. So I think that at the time, like 2003, 2004, there were probably about 300 or 400 of these left.
Let's check out the Chevy. So this is one of two.
one of two.
Alex, you got the mic. You got to explain.
Yeah, so this is the Chevrolet S10 electric, which uses a very, very similar powertrain to the GM EV1.
Okay, how's it different?
It uses a lower powered motor. Oh, and
Not
this is
one.
Not this one.
this one is missing the inverter. So it has the motor in it, but no inverter.
Which is also the charger.
Yeah, which is also the charger. It's the, what do they call it? A PEM?
PIM, yeah.
Yeah.
Electronics module.
I guess just like on a Model 3 or Model Y, it's a PEM. Okay, so missing PEM.
Is that what the motor looks like? I don't think I've ever seen it. I've only seen PIM down.
Yeah, I've never seen them without the PEM in it, so that's interesting. Cool.
Did these have aluminum windings in the motor?
The
Jared has
windings were different from the EV1 to the S10.
one. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different motor. I think that's the main difference, is the motor is different.
Okay.
And it is front-wheel drive, which is odd for a truck.
And the Ranger's not.
Nope, the Ranger's rear-wheel drive, and it
Were
uses...
these out at the same time?
Yep.
So truck
Same time.
wars.
Yep, truck wars. So you had Ranger versus S10.
And now Lightning versus Silverado.
Yep, exactly. So front-wheel drive S10, rear-wheel drive Ranger. On the Ranger, they did a pretty unique setup in the rear. It has a Didion axle, and then the motor's just centrally mounted with
like a
CV
G-Class
axles that
now.
go out. Yeah, just like a G-Class or the Mercedes Sprinter van is the same way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does this have the carbon fiber leaf springs?
No, this one's got the steel leaf springs. Only the 98 has the fiber monoleaf.
Oh, 1 year. Okay.
And a Watts linkage as well. So then after 98, they just went to regular steel leaf springs and eliminated the Watts linkage.
These have incredibly weak half shafts.
Oh, really?
The one that I've had experience with, there's a ton of play, and it doesn't feel like they're long for this world.
Oh, really? I wonder if there's something off the shelf that's interchangeable
This one's
with
got-
some other GM product.
Holy smokes! Look at the mileage in there.
Is it high?
16,000.
No, did I
Yeah.
read it wrong?
Yeah, 16,000.
I must have looked at. I thought it was 46,000. What was I looking at? Oh, what? Oh, 16. The one is a 1, not a 4.
Yeah,
The one is a 1, not a 4.
it's got
Now-
I was excited for a second.
original radio and everything.
Looks nice, dude.
Yeah.
Should I park the Silverado next to this?
Yeah, there you go. Now, diesel only,
Yeah.
and it
Oh,
has a
yeah.
diesel
So
heat,
it has a diesel heater. It's just It must be factory.
It is.
These are heat pump cars too. The diesel heater is the heat pump only works down to like 40 degrees, so the diesel
then the
heater
diesel.
is auxiliary.
My husband thought
Did
that was
all
the
of them
funniest
have it, or
thing.
was it an option?
I think the
It was the way they
the
came.
diesel heater or
Yeah.
the heat pump.
The diesel heater.
The diesel heater was an option for northern climates, I think.
Oh,
Kind of
okay.
cool.
Okay. Now, I do not know where my husband got this one.
Okay.
Yeah, this one, the battery box is in it, so it's all there.
So we just
Apart
need-
from the PEM.
yeah, we
Which
need the pen.
we might have it. There
Well,
are some
might-
funny looking things in there
Oh, okay.
that
Might be inside.
might be it.
We should go look.
Yeah.
So there's
Okay.
another S10 too, right?
Yes, it is the starter. It is the one that is the reason why all these are here.
Oh, well, let's go look at that one.
All right.
Man, you've got so many cool buildings around here.
Yeah.
We've even got a little Tesla over here.
So my husband set up, there's no electric in this building. It's all solar.
Oh,
But he
cool.
has a converter here. So we just pop it on
Yeah.
and then you flip those. I don't know why they're upside down, but you flip them down to turn them on. And voila. we
And it's
have lights.
right off solar.
Yeah. Oh, here's a
Yeah,
Tesla.
that's cool.
More batteries. Lots of batteries.
Yep.
That was his
Yeah,
thing.
we've got them labeled over here too.
Yeah, he loved to label.
Oh yeah, some 18650s.
Yep.
Oh, so these are the ones right out of a Tesla module
Yep, exactly.
because they have no wrapping on them.
That's right.
So that probably is what he used in the Zeros.
I'm
was
sure.
These exact cells.
Yeah.
Cool.
So over here we go to,
Which high voltage you get leash?
Oh, yeah.
we got,
Lots of Tesla modules. Wow. Lot of left modules.
he has he has 2 packs
Oh, dang.
Wow. Yeah.
that I have no idea what they're worth or what to do with them. He did test them last year. So
Yeah. No, they're definitely worth something.
Yeah.
they're working, like because he did say something about you can't let them just sit.
Yep, that's right.
But he did put them on a tester and they're all fine. As of last year, he probably tested them
They're
in
probably fine. So,
probably-
Oh yeah, they're fine.
probably
They
about
can-
this time.
They can sit for a long. If they're just sitting here unconnected, they can
Yeah.
sit for years.
Okay. But he did test them probably about this time
Mhm.
last year.
great. Oh,
So-
then they're totally fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely worth something for
Okay.
sure. Not an insignificant amount of money either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yep.
All right. And here you
What do you
go.
think, Alex? 5 grand, 8 grand? I don't know. It depends on how many kilowatt hours are there. But
Typical market for these modules. These are the modules that you'd find out of an 85.
are they fully populated?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So these
So-
are the 5.3 kilowatt hour modules.
Mm-hmm.
I would say typical market price on these days is roughly 400 to 500 per
Per
module.
module. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little higher or a little lower depending on, kind of, whatever
But
market.
yeah, definitely worth something, and we'll
Okay.
make sure you get that. for
And
sure.
I have no idea how to ship them. So
Yeah.
like,
Well,
You might be able to have EVTV come down here, grab these, and sell them for you.
yeah. Or,
Oh, that
or
would
we
be
might even
awesome.
buy them off you. which would make everything easy
I would-
for us.
I would appreciate it.
If Alex is gonna end up using them for projects, we may
be able to use them for.
we may end up just using
So
them.
this is what started it all.
So this is S10, super
Yes.
cool, factory electric, but completely modified. Alex,
Yes.
where's the mic? Oh, right here.
Oh,
I'm gonna hand this to you.
Yeah, so this has been modified with lithium iron phosphate batteries, and he actually put a clear plexiglass lid on here, so you can actually see inside of it.
So cool.
He did that because he was thinking about doing car shows,
Yeah,
and he just thought it because so many people don't understand,
with the
And-
hydraulic bed and all.
and
Yeah,
that
you
is
can
why
show
he
it off.
put the hydraulic on it, so that if he went to a car show, he could pop it up.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and this one's really clean. How many miles on this?
I do not know, but we did drive this
14,000?
around just to drive it to the stores and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We drove it for quite a while.
Oh,
Yeah, he really loved it.
The 12-volt battery's been disconnected in it.
yeah. So maybe
So-
it's actually okay.
I mean,
It very well may
yep,
be.
it might just start right up.
And still J1773. Yeah.
And it's got hookups for a tow bar.
Oh, cool. Did
Yeah.
you ever flat tow it?
Yeah, well, he when he was working on it, he had that on there to pull it in and out of the shop.
Oh, okay.
And there was something.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to actually flat tow it.
Right. Permanent magnet motor.
I'm not totally certain. Do you know?
No, it's an induction motor.
It isn't. Oh,
Yeah,
so.
it's ACP.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
But there was something going on with something that he needed to fix, but I don't remember what it was. And I know that he was going to need it to take it from here to the shop over there.
Okay.
So that's why he had that on there so he could pull that in as well. But he knew what it was. It was going to be something that only took him like a second
Oh, okay.
to fix, but I don't remember what it was. I honestly keep thinking that it had something to do with the heater
Oh, interesting.
that was
Okay.
causing something,
The diesel heater.
something,
Okay.
maybe a chip or something. I don't know.
Well, there's something disconnected.
Yeah. Oh, that's the high voltage disconnect. Oh, so the high voltage disconnect has been pulled on it too. Okay. And I don't know what the relays here are for, but we've got relays with.
It got very hot at some point. Or is that just black wire?
I think it's just a black
Okay.
wire. Yeah.
But this is the real
Where does
pride
it
and joy.
go?
This one.
Yes. This was
Oh yeah,
the
so that
first
goes
one.
to this.
He bought it from a guy in
So
Springfield,
these
Missouri.
do coolant counts.
And the reason why the
So
guy
you get
in
rid of
Missouri
the
was
weight.
selling it was because he was moving to an island that didn't allow
I wonder if
cars.
he has a can.
And it was the only reason why he was selling it. I do know that my husband paid almost $6,000 for it the way it was, and my husband had to get it running.
Yep.
Um,
What did he do the LFP conversion though? Right.
my husband did.
Your
that.
husband
yes,
did, yeah, yeah.
Yes. It was just the batteries that came factory.
And he also chromed out the mirrors. Cool.
Oh, that was his thing. He
Yeah.
put rims on it.
Yeah.
He made it a lowrider,
Yeah. Looks cool. Looks cool.
as low as you could go.
Yeah. More ATVs.
Yes.
Like capacitors.
Yeah. This is legit capacitor
Capacitors, or are they
Just
cylindrical
huge
cells?
cell.
Well, they're marked with voltage, so they
Um,
must be cylindrical.
They must be
These,
like a headlight.
the batteries,
Same BMS again.
they came out of a city bus. There was electric city buses in California, and they were retiring the fleet of buses that they had. And whoever bought the buses from the state had all the batteries.
Oh, wow.
And we're selling them on eBay. So that's why my husband got those. I do remember that.
That's incredible.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, and there's more Tesla tires, and I don't know even what all those are, but
Yeah.
now another sad story was that was his best friend's car. His best friend, ironically, passed away July the year before of septic shock.
Oh, no way.
And his best friend actually died on my birthday. And then my husband died June
Wow.
of last year.
That's crazy.
And his best friend loved that car. My husband hated it, thought it was the stupidest car.
Yeah.
But my husband loved, or His best friend loved that car, so we are storing it here for his best friend's brother who lives in California while they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with it. So it's just sitting there. But
Yep.
yeah, that was his best friend.
You've also got another.
Yes, there's a
magnet
charger
Yep.
there.
Love that it's on the rack. This is perfect. So cool. Yeah, NEMA 1450.
I don't know what that is. Is that a charger?
Well,
That blue thing? There's like something
so
on
Alex,
it. I don't
do you
know
know
if
what
there's-
that blue box is up there?
Is that a charger?
Looks like it could be.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't.
Oh. Is this the Epic charger?
Lockheed Martin.
Oh, baby, we found it.
It is the Epic charger.
Okay, well, there you guys go.
The Epic charger, Lockheed Martin, baby.
If I could get up there to show
I was looking
Yeah.
for a ladder.
The connector up there on top.
See if you can squeeze
Oh,
this on
here's
up
a
there.
tiny ladder. I don't know if this will help you. We can move
Got a ladder.
a little one. I don't know if that's actually going to
That might
help
be
you.
enough to get me up there to at least see it.
Dude, this is so cool. So shout out to the Barada collection. Is that what we call it? But
Ionna.
Beata, but no need anymore.
Yeah, so we do have one of these. That's fantastic. So that's the connector on it.
Oh,
Quite large.
cool. So they must have made more
These
chargers.
must be seats for the ATVs.
Yeah, for the
ATV
four-wheelers,
seats,
yeah.
They must have made more chargers than Epic vans.
I would assume they probably did. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, they probably had chargers.
Yeah, you got to build out your
locations and
Epic
stuff.
van network
Yeah.
for all the road trips.
Right, yeah.
Dude, that's cool. That's really cool. Okay.
And
And I-
apparently the Epics were set up to be able to do fast charging.
Here.
So the Epics were set up to be able to do fast charging as well.
40 kilowatts, right?
I think something like that. I don't remember. Did they actually say in that video
So-
what the rate was?
Is that, it's not a DC charger. That's an AC.
This is an AC charger. Should be. I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm going to get, should we get
Wonder-
the specs on there? We already filmed it, right?
Oh no, it is a DC charger. It says 400 volts DC, 14 kilowatts
Yeah.
on 3-phase. On single phase, it's 10 kilowatts.
So maybe this is the high power charger.
Maybe. It says EVSE battery charger. Yeah, input 50 to 60 hertz, 48 amps.
So it can
Output
do 3-phase or single.
output 400 volts DC.
Cool.
Yeah, fascinating.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, guys, you joined me at the end of the day to finalize up the Out of Spec Reviews tour of this super cool spot. And no need, we're not using mics at the moment, Alex, so you're good. Amazing. Bonnie's so cool, willing to let us take these cars, try and restore them, share their stories with you. We're definitely going to do individual spotlights on, you know, the real important ones. I've already done my RAV4 EV video recently, but we're going to do S10 and Ranger, and it's just going to take a long time to get through these. I honestly have no idea how we're going to transport them and load them up, and it's going to be one hell of a challenge. But if there's any help you guys want to offer us here, we will certainly take it. And in the meantime, we've just got so much cool stuff to try and figure out what's worth reviving, what's worth letting go. And I want to figure out the best way to share them with everyone. So that's why we make YouTube videos of cool cars. What an amazing day here in the middle of Tennessee to explore some electric cars. Who would have thought all of these crazy vehicles would end up here in a field? Not me. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you to Bonnie, and we'll see you all on another one again soon. Bye-bye.